Should we start now, Bhante? Yes.
Yeah, great. I think we are on Facebook.
Good evening, Bhante and Kalyanamita Sukihontu. I'm Aliana and welcome to Sutta Discussion Day 45 by Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima. Tonight we are going to discuss the 20th session of Sigalovada Sutta. Sigalovada Sutta is the fourth sutta from the total of 10 suttas that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Aman Perdana Klang's Facebook page and YouTube channel. We have uploaded the previous 44 classes there. The sutta discussion Zoom class is always open. Therefore, whoever that wish to join the class where we can engage directly with Bhante can contact us on Ti-Ratana Vihara Aman Perdana Klang's Facebook Messenger. We are welcoming newcomers. Now, please allow me to introduce about our speaker. Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima currently is the Senior Advisor at Patisotta Canada, a virtual Dharma organization that helps beginner as well as expert students in learning Dharma in a variety of ways. Many people are interested in Dhamma Pariyesana, Patisotta's most acclaimed interview series, which Bhante conducts on regular basis. You can check on Patisotta with the link www.patisotta.blogspot.com. But Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima earned his PhD in Buddhist Studies in 2015 from University of Sri Jayawardenepura in Sri Lanka. From 2012 till 2015, Bhante served as Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada. And in 2016, Bhante was a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society of the University of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Now, without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante and thank you very much for the wonderful talk. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Aliana, for the introduction. So welcome back to welcome back to the 45th day of our Sutta discussion, which we've been conducting almost an year, probably by next month. So we have Aliana, Lim, Bella, Hema, and Sita today after some time with mother, I guess, and Sadhris. I think you have two accounts, I guess, and Kim. Yeah, I probably think a couple more might be joining as we continue. So, yeah, so we've been discussing about different responsibilities of different people in society, right? So we finish discussing about the friend's responsibilities towards colleagues, other friends. So today we are gonna be discussing about what other friends are supposed to do for those friends who are being empathized, who are being taken care, right? Okay, so before we proceed, let's pay homage to Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay. Great. So, I think a couple of you were not already in our discussion before. Sita was not here. Hema was not here to probably 2 weeks. I hope they're going to catch up with what we've been doing because it's kind of a gradual phase of learning for all of us. Okay, yeah, thank you for that reminder too. So let's go to the section that we are supposed to discuss. Okay, so it's going to be here. As you can see, this is Sigalovada Sutta. So we have been doing 6 directions and then 4 major kusalas, I would say, kilesas, and then 4 what do you call it? 4 prejudices, chanda dosa bhaya moha, and 6 ways of squandering money, wealth, about taking drinks and food for us not to be able to make a sound judgment. It's about Suramirya. These are those 6. And then we talked about 8 kind of friends. So 4 good friends and 4 bad friends. First 4 bad friends and then 4 good friends. So there's something interesting here. Like if you see the good friends, Suhada Mitta, so Mitta Paturupaka means the friends who show that they are friends, but they are not really friends. So Suhadamitta Suhadamittas are good friends. So you see the second good friend, Upakaraka Mitta, right? You see something very similar to this about the responsibilities from the colleague side towards other friends, right? You would see something very similar to this description, which we're going to be discussing today. And then we started off this responsibilities part. First, we discussed about children's responsibilities towards parents, and then parents' responsibilities towards children, and students to teachers to students, husband and wife. And then we also talked about we discussed about the friends last week, right? Today we're going to be discussing the latter part, the second part of the friends and colleagues responsibilities. That means one friend to another friend, that friend to this friend. You could say friends to colleagues or colleagues to friends. Okay, so it's going to be here. Who would like to read this part? So when you click on the link, you see these signs. These are variants. Don't worry about these stuff, right? Because this website, so Central has variants. That means they have added all the different manuscripts: Burmese, Sri Lankan, Thai, right? So this has a different other word. See, Piya Vajjena can also be said by Piya Vajjena, but we're not going to take that. That's a different manuscript. Okay, so somebody's going to read from here. Who's going to read? Sita, would you like to give it a try? You can see from our screen.
Okay, sure, Bhante. Let me try. In Mexico, Gahapatipta Panchahi Tanehi Kulaputena Tara Hisa Mita Matsa Pachupatita Panchahi Tanehi Kulaputang Anukampanti Pamatang Rakanti Pamatasa Sapateang Rakanti Bitasa Sarana Hanti Apadasu na Vijahanti Apara Paja Jasa Pati Pujenti Imehiho Gahapati Puta Panchahi Tanehi Kulaputena Utara Bisa Nita Maca Patupatita Imehi Panchahi Tanehi Kulaputang Anukampanti Evamesa Esa Utara Lisa Patitana Hoti Kema Apati Baya.
Great. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let me read that too. Imehi ko Gahapati Putta Panchahi Dhanehi Kulaputtena Uttara Disa Mita macha. Pachupattita. Panchahi. Tanehi. Kulaputtang. Anukampanti. Now here comes the list. Pamattang rakkanti. That's number 1. Pamattassa sapateyang rakkanti. Number 2. Bhitassa. Not saranahoti. Bhitassa saranang panti. Apadasu na vijahanti. Aparapaja chassa patipujanti. And then the stock expression. Imehi ko gahapati putta panchahitanehi kulaputtena uttarādisa mittamacha pachupattitha. Imehi panchahi tanehi kulaputtang anukampanti. Eva massa esa uttarādisa patichanna hoti kema appati bhaya. Has anyone seen here a difference between what do you call singularity or plurality? Here, if you can see here, if we go to the previous one, take a look at okay, now here you see it's all comes in plural, right? Because that means like friends to friends, friends to friends, friends to colleagues, colleagues to friends. Okay, so who is going to read the English translation? It's going to be here. It's pretty concise. Kim, are you willing to? Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. And friends and colleagues so respected as we could protect with compassion in 5 ways: by protecting you and when you are vulnerable, and likewise your wealth being a refuge when you are afraid, not abandoning you in misfortunes, and honoring all your descendants.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Now these are very what do you call great thoughts and great actions. It is what do you call it is easier to say things like that in our society, but they are very big aspects of someone's health, right? So we will look into them as we proceed. Now let's go back to the Pali one, because one of the very important things of our class is to learn some Pali, right? That's something complementary here. Okay, so let's come over here. Imehiko, these are Gahapati Putta, householder. Panchahitani, Pancha means 5, Tani means places. Kulaputtena means, who is Kulaputta? Kulaputta. Kulaputta means, again, another synonym for Gahapati Putta. Kulaputta means a man who comes from a respectable, I would say, what do you call a tribe or something in that society, Indian society at that time. Uttara Disa. What is Uttara? What is Uttara?
Northern.
Northern. But have you ever come across somebody called Uttara in Buddhist stories? I want to check your knowledge about the Buddhist history, life of the Buddha and all that kind of stuff. Not just the Dhamma, right? Because we should know things like that. Was anybody aware about a female, a lay devotee who went by Uttara? There was a lady called Kujuttara. What is Kuj? Hunchback. There was a lady who was hunchback, you know. She was Uttara, but Kujuttara, people say she's hunchback. In today's world, it's kind of a very pejorative way of saying, you don't say somebody else, you are hunchback Uttara. They say Kujuttara. Okay. Anyways, Uttara means northern direction. Now, for those like I would say for Sita who might not know what is this northern, right? What is this? Okay. So in this sutta, the Buddha said, when you are a layperson, okay, you need to protect you from unnecessary fears that are being arisen from different angles of your life. Right? Not from the location, right? You don't think that you are stationed in XYZ country and then on the northern side there is something, on the right side there is something, on the western side and eastern side there are things. It's not like that. Like in our life, in our individual life, personal life, so we are creating our personal circles. In that personal circle or personal circles, we have different people who are surrounding us. So now we already discussed about the eastern direction, that's for the parents. Western direction, that's for the what do you call, your marriage, probably your partners, because where you're going to be ending up, right? And then we also discuss about the southern direction, teachers, and then northern direction. That means another aspect of our life circle is friends, because we can't just live by ourselves. We need some good friends to live, right? Because it's a very important topic. So I'm going to actually delve into that today in different aspects, going a little bit deeper. Not deeper in the sense of Dhamma, I mean deeper in redefining who is a friend in Buddhism, right? Not just like hi, bye, party friends. I mean, just going beyond those expressions. Kulaputra, another synonym to the Gahapatiputra. Uttara, northern direction. Mitta Macha, so two words. Now the translations go by Mitta means friends and Macha means colleagues. I would say this is, let's say Mitta Macha means in what you call in simple context, two friends. Let's take two friends. So let's say if you take it from your side, you are one friend and you are doing two other friends, and other friends are doing another set of responsibilities for you. Mitta Macha, I could say friends and colleagues. Pachupattita panchahitanehi kulaputtang anukampanti. Empathize, that means fulfill for you. Now, you have done your part before, right? See those ones here. Danena, you've been very generous. Peyavajjena, you have very good words, very comfortable, very sweet, very kind words for them, right? And you have been very much concerned about your friends' well-being in all walks of their life. Samanattataya, you treated everybody, to be equal. You are not like treating your friends depending on different, what do you call, special treatments, right? Avisangvadanataya, that means you are not going to, I would say, deceive, swindle your friend, right? Those are, I guess, fundamental foundations. Now, how does someone treat back a friend who is doing these five to them? So this is how the others are supposed to behave. Pamattang rakkanti. Okay, interestingly. What is pamattang? Now let me show you that one again. Upakaraka mitta's definition. Let's go back. Where's upakaraka mitta? Do you see it here? Pamattang rakkati. So that is similar. Pamattasa sapatiyang rakkati. It's also very similar. Bhitasa saranang. It's also similar. But others are not going to be similar, right? Uppannesu kichakaranesu. They are not similar to this. So see, pamattang rakkanti. What is pamattang? Pamattang rakkanti. Let me stop the sharing and then I'm gonna asking questions. Right. Who is pamattang? What is pamatta in Pali? Can you try thinking about this Pali word pamatta? I think you know this meaning, but you haven't known this meaning in this particular context. That's the thing. What is pamatta? Pamatta is a secondary derivative from another Pali word. What is that? What is that main Pali word? Pamada. Somebody who is into negligence is pamatta. Now the state of that person is negligent, pamada. Do you know this word? Yes, you know. That is your fifth precept too, right? Isn't it? Sura mere majja pamadattana. Pamada. That's your precept, right? Pamada. Let's figure out from Sura mere. Then let's go into pamada again, pamatta again. Okay. What is Sura mere majja pamadattana veramani? Let's figure out that again. Then we can go into pamatta. So it's pretty easy. So then you know something that you already know, right? So I would like to go like get into the unknown from the known to the unknown, not from unknown to the known. That is also a possibility, but let's go from the known to the unknown, right? When you see one elephant, then you are not worried about seeing another 2-3 elephants, right? Because you know that there was an elephant. That's pretty easy to understand, right? If you suddenly see many elephants, what is this? You have this curiosity and then the fear, right? Sura mere majja pamadattana veramani. Now here, Sura mere, I think I discussed with you many weeks ago about this under the Mangala Sutta. Now it is a perfect time to do a revision about the Mangala Sutta. Remember? Majja pamadattana. What majja pamadattana? How do we see Sura mere in the Mangala Sutta? Under the 38 blessings. Majjapana cha sanyamoa. Remember that? That is how it was given in the Mangala Sutta. What did the Buddha say? Did the Buddha say stop drinking alcohol? What did he say? Majjapana cha sanyamoa. That means having this discipline, calmness, your discipline in taking drinks, and now here definitely majjapan. Majja means definitely drinks of food that are going to give you a delay. Majja means delay, right? Sura mere. Now here, any drink, any food that is causing you delay and negligence. Majja pamada. Atthana. If any drink, any food going to cause you delay in your spiritual activities and negligence, that is called a spiritual problem, right? So you are going to get rid of all that. It is not only alcohol, because we are already consuming alcohol. Even you catch a cough, you are being prescribed by the doctor a narcotic, probably a narcotic syrup, right? Definitely, like a codeine-based syrup that has alcohol. Then the doctors say, don't take it while you are driving, while you're operating machines. Take it just before you sleep, because you're going to be sleepy after, drowsy. So it's not about taking alcohol. When you take anything in excess, it's going to be a problem, right? Even you drink a juice, 7-8 cups of juice, you're going to be like this. It's not only alcohol, you're going to be a problem. If you eat a couple plates of rice, you are very drowsy, you are not in the right mind. If you eat too much food, it's going to be a problem. The Buddha said, whatever the food, whatever the drinks are causing you delay and negligence, you are going to get rid of all that. Because when you are delayed by, when you are delayed and negligent by whatever the food and drink, then you are not able to make a sound judgment about the situation. You are not a good decision maker at that point, right? You can't decide properly. So now let's get into our discussion, our topic exactly. Now here you see pamada means negligence. Okay. So pamatta means somebody who is negligent is called pamatta. Pamada is the state of mind. Then pamatta means someone who is already negligent. Now you understand. Now, let's say you are negligent for some reasons. You are drunk. You are not sober, and then you need help. Now let's see how does the responsibility work over here. Again, pamattang rakkant. Let's say you are drunk. Not even drunk. Let's say you have eaten too much food. Let's say you have had poison by a mistake. Let's say you are not in the right mind for whatever the reason. Then the responsibility, the first responsibility of the friend is to make sure that you are not vulnerable anymore to anybody. That, oh, you are trying to, that person is trying to make sure that your safety is ensured, right? That's the first thing, right? When you have a friend who is taking care of you with dana, piyavajja, attacharya, samanattata, avisangvadana. So the first responsibility, you're going to make sure that they are safe. Generally speaking, they are safe. Because if you are not concerned about their safety, that is not good in that friendship. Pamatta, someone who has pamada, means pamatta. Rakhanti means take care, protect. Any examples from your life, Dhamma folks? Have you ever, definitely you may have experience, you may have helped your friends. If it is too serious, too personal, then don't need to share. But have you ever experienced this kind of a situation for a friend? And how did you manage to ensure the safety of your friend or maybe a bunch of friends? Have you ever done it? Yeah. According to this, the first thing about a friend that who is really concerned about you is to make sure that that friend is safe in the first place, right? No experiences about your friends where you help? Really? Okay, I hope you will have. Okay, let's get into the next one there. See how things work. Pamattassa, and again that word comes back. Pamattassa sapateya rakka. Now the new word is sapateya. Okay, what is sapateya here? You see, sapateya means wealth. It's about wealth. Okay. Now see here, by protecting you when you are vulnerable, when you are at jeopardy, at risk, when you are not when you are at unsafe situation. And second one is not even that, you're going to protect your wealth. Now this is an interesting point, sapateya. Now let's say somebody is really carrying you with danas, then piyavajja, then attacharya, samanattata, avisangvadana. Then the first thing that you're going to be concerned about that kind of a friend is to make sure the safety. I think not even for that kind of a friend, because we are usually concerned about everybody's safety. There are very good people sometimes who are surrounding us. They are making sure that, okay, are you safe? Are you okay? There are people who are asking you over the phone, are you okay? At least sending a message over social media. Are you home safe? That's a very good feeling that you think that somebody is concerned about you, right? That's a very good thing if we have that kind of a caring, right? So now here, wealth. Now we have to separate out something from wealth. What is wealth? Is it money? Or is it something else? Money and wealth. If you go to a bank, let's say you can deposit money. But for those who have lots of money, then there are other sections in a bank. Wealth management, right? In order for that to be available, that you need to have lots of money. Probably you're going to say real estates, maybe lots of money. And they're going to treat that you have more than money, and they might call it is a wealth management. in the same bank. But that is one perspective. But what is wealth, according to you? What is wealth in Buddhism and what is wealth to you? There are two aspects we can discuss.
Bhante,
Yeah,
is
okay.
it wealth in health? If you're healthy?
Yeah, that is a very good perspective about wealth in Buddhism, because there is a very famous stanza which goes by Arogya Paramalabha, but it's not about wealth. It says
Health.
the best profit gain you can have in your life is health, and then Santutti Paramandana. The best wealth someone can attain, acquire in his or her life is
Healthy.
no, joy that you acquire through good ways. You can be happy, you can be jovial about things that are akusala, right? But when you have achieved your joy through, I would say, not spiritual, I would say good ways, skillful ways, without harming other people, without harming you, that is the best wealth, right? Of course, health, in another perspective, it is one of the very best. I think it is the most wealth, because although you have lots of money, but if you complain every day, you have a back pain, you have a leg pain, I have arthritis, I'm not gonna actually discriminate anybody, but XYZ things, you are not happy. You have money, you have everything, you have a house over you, roof over you, you have food on your plate, but you're not happy. You are sick. That means health is the most wealth. Just because as Buddhists we believe in anicca, it doesn't mean that we should not care about our bodies. We must care about our bodies, but not to the level of practicing sakkaya ditthi. Right? We have to take care of the body. If you don't take care, you won't be able to practice Dhamma. Because every time you read a book, my ear is aching now. I can't focus myself. I can't see. I can't read books. I can't listen to a Dhamma talk online. It's pretty boring because I have other problems, right? So they are your health issues. Probably they are not senile issues. Probably they are issues you created by yourself. Your bad lifestyle, your way of thinking, right? So anyways, Kim, thanks for that. Health is, I guess, one of the very most well. But what are the other ways of looking at what is wealth to other people here?
Bhante, peace of mind,
Peace of mind. Yeah.
contentment,
That is what we all are looking for.
contentment,
Contentment. It's pretty hard to achieve though, but it is. Being content is more than being satisfied. That's a very broader term. Satisfaction and contentment have two different connotations. If you go to Metta Sutta, Karaniya Matta Kusalena Yantan Santam Padana Samicha, Sakko Ujucha Sujucha, Suacho Chasamudu Anatimani, Santussako, which has a different connotation, not being satisfied, being content. That means it's a broader meaning about our joy, right? Satisfactions can go up and down, right? Today you are satisfied, but tomorrow you might say, I'm not satisfied with the food that I'm having in the restaurant, right? You could complain to them. You could write on the Yelp, Google review. But if you are content, nobody can take that away from you. It's a very stronger, broader, very wiser way of experiencing something, like somebody's treatment or the way how you look at the life. Yeah, so peace of mind. Yeah, that's the best. And health. In order for you to be having the peace of mind, definitely health is very important, physical and mental health. What else? Have you ever heard a sutta somewhere in the Anguttara Nikaya called I probably think it's called Dana Sutta.
Dana
Dana.
Sutta.
There are 7 types of wealth. Saddha danang, sila danang, hiri ottappiyan danang, sutta danancha chagocha, panyame sat chagocha, panyame sattamandana. Okay, so there are 7 types of wealth in that sutta. Right? There are different suttas that deal with different wealth. The first one is saddha. Trust is a wealth. Is it a wealth? When you are able to trust somebody in your circle, is it a wealth? It is a wealth, because let's say you are with somebody you suspect, you are living together, you are doing everything with them, but you are not happy. Something is happening behind you suspect, but you can't talk it out, because if you talk it out, there are other consequences, right? Because you suspect, you can't trust. So if you can trust somebody, it is a wealth. It is the first wealth. So let's say if you want to make yourself somebody whom others can trust, that means you are making yourself trustworthy. And if you feel that people around you whom you can trust, it is also a very good benefit that you have. Trust. And second, saddhadana, sila dana, virtue, taking care
Sila.
of your precepts,
Sila.
and you have this consistent character, right? I always translate morality to be consistent character. You can say morality and virtue, but if today you take 5 precepts, but tomorrow you do something else, and the day after tomorrow you come back and you take it again. It is possible. But sila simply means not just taking precepts, because you can break them many times, right? Sila means you have a consistent character. You are grateful since day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. For how long? It doesn't count. You have the same character. Some people get changed over time, right? Especially spiritual side in the wrong way, right? So keep your good characteristic, good virtues, right? It is more than keep your precepts, but it's more than the precepts. That's the second wealth. Third one, saddha danam sila danam. Saddha sila. Hiri. What is hiri? H-I-R-I.
H-I-R-I, yeah.
Yeah, H-I-R-I. H-I-R-I, hiri. That's in Pali, okay? Hiri means?
Moral shame.
A moral shame. And then ottappa is the other one. That is going to be the fourth wealth. What is ottappa? Moral fear. Remember, there is a Jataka story in the Jataka book. I think it is called Deva Dhamma Jataka. Deva Dhamma Jataka. Type that for you. Yeah. You don't need to read it, but just to keep in your mind that there is a Jataka story that exists. Deva Dhamma Jataka. In this Deva Dhamma Jataka, it is said that there was a demon in the water. So the Bodhisattva was one of the siblings, and he sent other siblings to fetch some water from the river or something like that, lake. What happened? There is a demon in the water. Normally, it is said that Nagas are living with the water. Now, in Buddhism, we have a belief that whenever someone's life is taken by a waterfall, maybe the ocean, maybe a watery place, and some Buddhists believe that there is an involvement with the Nagas. There's Nagas live there, good Nagas and bad Nagas. That is why we give merits to them. Deva Naga Mahiddika. Nagas are there. They are aquatic Nagas. Those Nagas are not snakes that you see in the animal world. So, 2 siblings did not return. So he also went to the lake or river. Then he saw the demon. And then he had a discussion, like a conversation with him. And then he said, this is the thing. Like right after the demon meets somebody from outside, he used to ask a question. If the people cannot answer the question, so they take them to the river, into his custody. What was his question? What are the Deva Dhammas? What are the principles, spiritual principles of the Devas? Devas, deities. So the other two siblings said different bizarre answers, crazy answers. So he took them into his custody. And the Bodhisattva was very wise. He said, Deva Dhamma means Hiri Ottappa, moral shame and moral fear. Oh, wait. You answered well. I'm going to give back your siblings. That means Hiri Ottappa, they are the fundamental virtues of the Devas also. If you have lots of Hiri and Ottappa, that means Devas like you a lot. Deities. What is the opposite of these two? Ahirika, Anottappa. Right? Ahirika and Anottappa. Hiri Ottappa means a good. So now these are two. Well, if I explain a little bit more, Hiri means, let's say you can do a bad thing. Let's say you can blame someone, you can criticize someone, but you are not going to do that because you think that I'm going to make that person shameful here. And I think this is not the proper way to fix the issue. So you are trying to back up a little bit and then think differently. You know? I can do, but I'm not going to do that. That is one example. Let's say you can break all the other precepts, but you are not going to do that because you think that this is a shame on me. This is a shame for me if I'm going to do that. Moral shame. You have a moral shame not to do such bad karmas, bad acts. Then Ottappa means you have a fear. If I'm going to do this, I will be criticized by the wise people, like in the Metta Sutta, right? How do we know in Metta Sutta? How was it said in the Metta Sutta? Remember? Naparo paranni kuppeta nyati manyeta kattakinam kanti vyarosana patika sanya nanya manyasa dukkha mecchaya nacha kuddang samachare kinchiyena vinyo paraya nacha kuddang samachare. I am not going to involve in any bad activity which is reprimanded, which is criticized by vinyo pare, wise people, because it is okay, a crazy person is going to blame me, yeah, on the way. You are a bad person. But if a good person is going to really, who I trust, say something wrong about me, I feel really down that day because I know that is something like a valid statement, right? Let's say you go out from your house, somebody is going to blame you on the way. You don't care that much. But if you come back home, your husband is going to say something, your son is going to say something, your daughter is, you feel like something is going to happen to you because they are the people who you respect, who you love so much, who you respect, right? So let's talk about other spiritual people. Okay, so Hiri Ottappa. Then Sutta, Chaga, Panya. Sutta means knowledge. If you have a spiritual knowledge or whatever the knowledge, it's going to be a wealth too, right? And then Chaga means generosity. If you are a generous person, then you have the wealth too. Then Panya means wisdom. Wisdom. Now, there are 7 types of wealth that we know in Buddhism. But here, Sapateya means, in this description, wealth of your friend. The friend who is generous towards you, who is talking good words to you, who is really taking care of your well-being, who is really treating you as equal, who is really not deceiving you. So you are looking at his wealth, material wealth, probably his house, probably his other things. You are not going to misuse that kind of stuff. Make sure that taken care well as a friend. Sapateya. So not only you make sure that your friend is safe, but also you make sure his or her wealth, here material wealth, because you can't get into the spiritual wealth at this point, safe. Any questions about it before we jump on to the third responsibility?
Bhante, just now you say the Sadat, the first wealth is Sadat trust. Normally I take Sadat as the faith. So
No,
is it the same spelling?
Saddha is not
Same
faith.
spelling?
That is Saddha is the same syllables.
Spelling?
Sad,
Okay.
Saddha. That's
Trust.
the pretty one. Yeah, SADD. Yeah, so
HA.
Saddha, let me tell you, Saddha fundamentally means trust or confidence about Buddha Dhamma Sangha.
Yeah.
Faith is a Christian biblical term about the God, because you believe someone unlimited. Because we don't have that thing in Buddhism. But the people who translate Buddhist words from a Christian background, probably for their ignorance, they translate it to be faith.
Faith.
It is not the proper wording, because we are looking at the Pali, the connotation in the Pali. Because
So
Buddha
is
never
the,
asked us to have faith about anything. Buddha said,
okay.
have trust after a careful investigation. We call it Akaravati Satta. There are two types of Saddha. Amolika Saddha, let me type that for you.
Careful investigation.
There are two types of Saddha. I would say possible translations could be trust or confidence. The first one is going to be
Trust and confidence.
Amolika. That means baseless trust, which is not appreciated in Buddhism. You have to investigate. Not saying that I don't believe anybody, your personal investigation. Second is going to be Akaravati. Okay. Makes sense. Amolika and Akaravati. So now Saddha means trust. You can't say they are the proper word, but at least it means trust or confidence.
Confidence, trust.
Yeah, not faith. It's not what it means.
Okay.
This faith is the unlimited belief about the God, which we don't have in Buddhism. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante. Bhante, just now you say it's from Anguttara Nikaya. Which chapter is that?
Yeah, let me look
5
it
or
up.
7?
Yeah, I think definitely 7, because there are seven
Book of 7.
wells should be in the 7 section. Sattva Nipata. But let me look it up for you.
Anguttara Amulika Sada. Business trust.
Yeah, it's going to be Anguttara Nikaya 7.6.
7.6.
7.6. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay.
7.6.
So now we understand wealth has different connotations, but here it means wealth of your friend. You are particularly concerned about the wealth of your friends. I mean, definitely the material wealth, probably money, estates, other things at that time. In this time, it could be different from the culture, right? Could be going differently. Okay, let's get into the third responsibility. Friends. Pamattang Rakkanti is the first one. Pamattasa Sapatiyam. Sapatiya means wealth. Third one, Bhitassa Saranang Honti. Bhitassa Saranang Honti. What is Bhita? This Pali word. This also has a common Pali word where it comes from, like pamatta to pamada, pamada to pamatta. What is the original Pali word of bhitas?
Bhayam.
Bhaya, bhaya. What is bhaya? Bhaya means fear. Bhaya means fear. So that means now let's assume your friend is scared of something. Maybe a trauma, maybe something happened to him, maybe about his financial life, maybe something else that has happened to his family, maybe loss of job, something else. Now, there could be different ways of being scared. So you are going to be a refuge to your friend. How can you become a refuge to your friend? How is it possible? Let's say your friend is going through a trauma. Something happened to him or her because of some reasons. How can you be a refuge to him or her? We should be able to relieve his or her mind. Relieve the pain, relieve the source of the fear. Right? Now it is said that even a snake bites you, if you are getting so feared, it is highly likely you're going to die. Because when you are feared, your blood is going to work faster. Highly likely the toxic stuff is going to the heart. You're going to die. That is why it is said when somebody is bitten by a snake, just make that person calm. It's a small bite. Don't worry, you're going to be okay. Right? Saying that, okay, that was a big snake, you never seen that snake so far. He bite you. Right? So just a different example. So let's say somebody has done something to your friend, but you are going to calm your friend down. Not giving that pressure, making that person calm, preparing that person to bounce back, preparing that person to be resilient. That is very important. So a lot of people, maybe more people might be society who might probably escalate the situation. You're gonna de-escalate the situation. Like there's a fear, insecurity, but don't worry, there are things happen to everybody, even to me, even to you, even to anybody. But we have to deal with it. We have to fix this. You're on the strong, positive side. They are golden words at the right time. Probably your friend knows those words, but not easy for that friend to come up with those words at that time. So you are giving that golden words to that person. So you are helping your friend who is feared, scared of something, some person's experiences to bounce back. That is a huge, huge help to that person, responsibility. What is the Buddhist perception about fear? What have you known about the fear in Buddhism? Did the Buddha say fear is not important? Did the Buddha say fear is necessary for something? What is the Buddhist view about fear?
It is inside. That means it's inside our thoughts and our mind.
Does Buddhism encourage us to look at us to be feared at different aspects in our life, or
Yes.
does Buddhism ask us to go away from the fear, or just to treat the fear?
Yeah, we should fear for something, especially to do bad thing like that.
That's interesting. That's what I'm trying to aim at. Buddhism encourages the necessity of the fear and also the elimination of the fear. We have to look at it in two ways. Why did the Buddha say fear is necessary? Now, what is the connotation of the bhikkhu? Sansare bhayang ikkatiti bhikkhu. Somebody who is looking at the danger of the life. Sansara is a monk. Sansare bhayang ikkatiti bhikkhu. Bhikkhu is not just somebody who's going for pindapata. Somebody who is understanding the danger of continuing the samsara. And the Buddha said, monks have fear for samsara. That means that is a different fear, but it is a rational fear. It's not an irrational fear. Not like a supernormal, paranormal fear, right? Which people have. Ghost. That's an irrational fear, right? It's not a rational. Rational fears are needed sometimes because that is not giving you lots of problems because you're understanding. So Buddhism, on one way, asking us to see the fear of being driven to other lives from this life. Because it's a problem because you never know what's going to happen to you. On the other side, the Buddha said, with the path which you are going to do to understand that fear is the Nibbana. The Eightfold Noble Path. Through that path, you are going to end that fear, samsara fear. So asking us to see the fear and then to eliminate the fear itself. Right? That is what the Buddha says. Those people who don't understand how to get rid of the fear with the samsara, the Buddha said, they go after funny things. There's a Dhammapada stanza, right? What is it given in Dhammapada? Can you remember that stanza in Dhammapada? It is said that people who don't believe in the Noble Eightfold Path, we never disrespect pagodas, bodhi trees, definitely respect them. But there are people who don't think that the way out of their path is the Eightfold Noble Path. We have to simultaneously practice. It is said that out of fear, they are going to places to get rid of those problems. But those problems will not be overcome by any of those visits. Bahungve saranang yanti pabbhatani vananicha arama rukka chetyani manussa bhayatajjita. Manussa, humans, beings who are bhayatajjita, who are driven by fear and the terror, bhaya and tajja. What are they going to do? Bahungve saranang, they go to many places to look for the what you call the oasis, the way out of their problem. What are those places? Bahungve sarananyanti. Pabbatan, some big rocks. Vananicha, some faraway forest. Arama, temples. Rukka, some big, very old trees. And then the pagodas, chaitya. Now see the Buddha's idea about these. But please keep in mind, it doesn't mean that respecting a pagoda, respecting a temple, going to a temple is bad, not necessary. You need to do that. But the way out is not there. The way out is with, after that stanza, it says, Netanko saranang kemang netang saranamuttamam. This is not the refuge for you. The refuge is your self-practice of the Noble Eightfold Path. The path which has 8 components. It's pretty interesting. That means refuge. So fear has 2 sides. We need fear in a different context to understand the samsara. That is why we are scared and we can be born as a cat, dog, a lion, elephant. What's going to happen to my samsara after that? Can I do a good karma? Being a dog, being an elephant, being a snake, who can ensure that I'm not going to be a cat, I'm not going to be a snake, right? So we are trying very much to become a Sotapan, right? That is why the Buddha said we need fear to get rid of the fear, samsara fear, with the Noble Eightfold Path. Now here, let's say your friend is scared of something, somebody, an experience. You're going to ease out his pain, ease out his mental pain, ease out his stress, ease out his depression, not to escalate, just to de-escalate. Any questions about it? That means you have lots to do for the friend. Not lots. Yeah, just good human things. Very good human virtues. Okay, till you come up with a question, I'm gonna go ahead. So this is called Bhitassa Saranang Honti. Bhitassa means some. Bhaya is the particular Pali word. Bhita comes from bhaya. That means someone who is already feared. But bhaya means state of mind, fear. Bhita means someone who is already feared. Like here, pamatta. Pamattas. That means this comes from pamada, Pali word called pamada. Pamada means state of mind. That means negligence. Someone who is negligent is pamatta. Here, this comes from bhaya. State of mind is fear. Bhitasa means someone who is already fear. Now let me ask you a cross question. Sarana. Is this word familiar to you, all of you? Sarana. Now the problem is the question that I'm going to be asking you, wondering what is the question? Sarana. Where do you find this word? Sarana. Before?
Buddha Charana.
Ti-Ratana.
Before 5 precepts. Right? Why do we have to go to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha before the 5 precepts? What is the reason? If I know I can take care of myself, my bad karmas, unskillful side, why do I want Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha?
It's the refuge.
For the refuge. Why do we need to go for refuge?
From
I
fear.
remember there was one Sri Lankan monk who was teaching this to a different Western crowd, translating this to be, I go to the Buddha for refuge. I go to the Dhamma for refuge. I go to the Sangha for refuge. Secondly, I go to Buddha for refuge. Thirdly, I go to Buddha. Refugees? Hello, Bhante, we're not refugees here. Not refugees. I mean, they were thinking differently. So I think the translation, which went a little wrong. So here, refuge has to be understood the support. We need the support of the Buddha to cross over the samsara. We need the support of the Dhamma. We need the support of the Sangha to cross over the samsara. Just because I take the 5 precepts, that won't make a lot of sense. I will become a better person, but I can't get to the path. So we really need Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, not just one time, second time, third time, right? That is why we want the Sarana, right? So Sarana means refuge. I would say support. It's that the word refuge carries different meanings.
Is it
Like,
protection?
yeah, protection. I wouldn't say we are protected by Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Buddha is already gone. Dhamma is still there. Sangha is just teaching us. So I think support, because we are creating our own oasis, our own. The Buddha said, make your own island. Have you heard this song? Atta Deepa Viharat. You have to create your own island. Buddhas are only guiding you. Buddhas cannot take you to Nibbana. Have you heard this stanza? Sadhus, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm thinking about like with the confidence of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I need that support with the Buddha Dhamma Sangha confidence, you know.
Yes. Let's
I
say
go for my
very good.
refuge.
That's a very good point. Like when you want the support, then you are looking at the right person. Right? You are looking at the right person. The right person here is the Buddha. The thing is the Dhamma, and the representatives of the Buddha are Sanghas. So you can trust in them because you have this good understanding that these are the people who can help me. Yeah, that is a good way of looking at it too. So support, or the very famous word is refuge, can come from only somebody whom you can trust in, whom you can keep your confidence.
The dictionary says that the state of being safe or shelter from danger or difficulty. A place that is been sheltered and been safe.
You mean the translation for refuge? Yeah. No, the problem
that
is
is
not,
a shelter.
Yeah, the
Being
problem.
safe.
Yeah, the problem is not the word refuge. The problem is the word sarana. The Pali word sarana. Yes. The idea is the Buddha clearly said he is not going to physically protect us.
No.
right? I
Just
mean
a
the
shelter.
Shakyamuni Buddha, not the Amitabha Buddha in the Mahayana. That's a Dhyani version. But there is a way that we can be protected by the Buddha. What is it? Only
Dhamma.
when we follow his Dhamma.
Yeah.
He's himself coming and, hey, yeah, you are in a problem. I'm going to take you out of this problem. That is why in one stanza Buddha said in the Dhammapada, Tum he hikichang atappang akkhataro tathagat patipanna pamokkanti jaino marada. Hello beings, you have to try by yourself. I cannot take you to Nibbana. If you enter into the path, you will overcome the Mara. Now, don't take it differently than your belief. I know that everybody of you like to feel that Buddha is with me. Yes, I mean, that's a very good feeling. I'm not trying to get into that. Because when you are practicing Dhamma, you have a feeling that maybe Devas who like the Buddha can protect you. You never know. But Buddha, according to the philosophical way, according to text, he says that I'm not a savior. Savior is Christianity or maybe other religion, right? They say by terms, I'm the savior. I'm going to save all of you. The Buddha said, no, I'm going to tell you the path. If you enter the path, you're going to be saved by yourself. Right? That is how the teachings go by. So, but there is a spiritual meaning too. The spiritual meaning is that when you are a good person, that being good will protect you. That is what the Buddha said, right? The Buddha said, be good people. Then that good thing will protect you in turn. Maybe Deva, maybe your own good karmas, right? But Buddha is not a savior. He is the one who taught us the path, right? That is why the philosophical Buddhism does not go to many normal people, right? Because they want protection from somebody, right? You look at the stats in the world, not many people like Buddhism, especially you can say that there are Buddhists in the West, there are Buddhists in other countries, but only those philosophically intellectual people. But if you look at the normal people cannot understand this because they want the protection from someone. That protection comes from other religions. Wherever I go, I have the protection from this person. That is what they want. That is why this philosophical Buddhism is not going to them. That is why there are different cultures that have been created by other traditions, going beyond the Theravada. If you go to Mahayana, Vajrayana, their main emphasis is that you are protected. It's good because they knew this is how they're going to develop Buddhism. Okay, so Beta Saranam. Saranam means support. I would say support because we need a support from the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Buddha is not with us, but his teachings are available. Also, we can visualize the Buddha. Let's say you are doing Buddha Puja at home, right? How many of you doing Buddha Puja at home? Offering flowers, offering drinks to the Buddha. What do you do with that? What is the purpose of that? Let me ask you. Why do we do the Buddha Puja in the temples, in our houses? There's a Buddha statue and then you offer in front of the Buddha statue. Why do we do that?
I think it's a symbolic to reinforce our confidence and trust in the Triple Gem.
Yes, it's a symbolic.
It's a symbolic.
Symbolic thing which helps us to visualize the Buddha.
That's right. And the flower symbolize to me is impermanence. The leaves and flowers will die off. Then the water is very symbolic of purity. The light is really, be the light or shining.
Symbolic about the light, wisdom,
the darkness,
going beyond the ignorance.
Yes.
What about the joss sticks?
Yes.
Any meaning about the joss sticks?
Incense. Yeah, the incense.
What's the meaning of the joss sticks? Maybe we can ask from Kim. Any thoughts, Kim?
Yes.
Why do we offer joss sticks?
It's a fragrance.
Fragrance, huh?
To really spread.
Yes, the whole house, the shrine room.
Am I right, Bhante?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
hey,
who-
for the Buddha to smell
Huh?
it, for
Yeah.
because the statue is there, so you put the incense is like what Sister Emma say for the fragrance. So it's like a respect to him, the incense for him to smell as though we are offering it to him to smell, you know, a nice smell.
Yeah, so this is what I was trying to say. So we cannot have one idea about this offering. Like I know there are some monks in Sri Lanka who even set the mosquito net for the Buddha. I mean, the Buddha statue is reclining, Buddha statue lying down. So the monks, there are some temples where there is the lying Buddha statue. So the monk is going and then setting the mosquito net. I mean, well, respect, yes, it's okay. I'm not trying to make fun of that. Definitely respect. Maybe that extension of normal person's trust. But people look at differently, like what Kim just now said, maybe to let Buddha smell the joss sticks, right? Well, I mean, that's like, even though Buddha is not living with us, but you have the good feelings towards that. It's okay. But keep in mind, what did the Buddha truly ask us to practice? That is to follow the path. Do whatever that makes you comfortable, but don't do very stupid stuff. I mean, there are people, I remember there is I don't say stupid, I say very unwise stuff. I remember there was a devotee long time ago. This was given by one monk in his Dhamma talk in Sinhala. She made some what do you call, some traditional food, I would say hoppers. Okay, some hoppers. So she was very she has lots of, I would say, saddha, trust about the Buddha, but probably in different ways. She thought, today I'm not gonna put the hopper, the food thing, on the table. I want to put it on the Buddha's hand, because it's pretty easy for Buddha to consume, right? So by the afternoon time, the head monk was going to the shrine and seeing lots of ants going everywhere. What's going on here? Lots of ants. He saw somebody put food into the hands of the Buddha, right? So he did not try to make an issue with the devotee, because the devotee is important to temple too, right? You can't keep the temples with the devotees' donations. But what I'm trying to see in here is that when we respect, let's make our own parameters, our own boundaries. Otherwise, we're going to be unwise in a way. So let somebody who wants to do the mosquito net Buddha, go ahead for that. But have a limit to some extent. Let somebody who wants to do other things. But the most important thing is that what understanding what did the Buddha really teach us. So respecting those things while understanding what he really meant.
But I
So
think,
the-
Bhante, may I check, the end of the day, we shouldn't be so attached to the form, right? It's just a
Yeah,
form.
that is a higher
Like
that is a higher mentality, higher teaching. Yes.
Yeah, the Buddha Rupa is just there, is an image, but we shouldn't be attached to the form, but to really value the nine virtues of Buddha, right?
I think we are attached, not to the level of greed. Greed is the problem. I think
Yeah.
there's a separation, as you said, at the end of the day. In any practice, what we call by Buddhism, we should not be greedy
Attached
to
to-
anything, even to meditation. It can be addictive. Huh? Even meditation can be addictive. Don't do anything, don't overdo anything. Even meditation, don't overdo. Just do it, but don't be greedy for any practice, because you are doing everything to understand the true reality, right? Not to just to be get bogged down by anything after that.
So to
Okay.
walk the middle path, huh?
Middle path. Yes,
Yeah.
it's the middle path. Okay, so
Okay.
now Bhita means, Bhita Sana means you are going to help out your friend with the field. Then Apadasu na vijahanti. What is Apada? Very famous word now. Apadasu.
Injury or disaster.
Disasters. See here, being a refuge when you are afraid, not abandoning you in misfortunes. So apada means not abandoning your friends in distress. I think this is very interesting, because if you have a feeling that you have a friend who never gave up on you, was trying to be with you, that's a very good feeling. You're so lucky to have such people, right? There's some people, they are with you when you have money and everything. When you don't have, they're gonna leave you. Some people. So as a friend, you are not doing that. The last responsibility is, see that, apara paja. Tassa patipu. Who is paja? Paja means people. People. Apara paja. Apara paja means descendants. Who are they? Honoring all your descendants. What does it mean?
Or relatives?
Yeah, so it is like respecting and taking care, probably, your relatives, your families, right? Probably when your friend is in distress, in an issue, his or her family might need some help. So you are trying to help in the decent way, proper way. Yeah, so that kind of a help, providing help in a proper, decent, disciplined way to your friend's family, because they are sometimes totally dependent on your friend. Okay, so these are the 5. Let me recap one more time. So here you see, by protecting when you are vulnerable, protecting your wealth. Now you are doing to other friends. So protecting when they are vulnerable, when they are at risk, protecting their wealth, help out your friend when they are struggling with fears, and not leaving your friend or friends when they are in struggle, and then honoring, respecting their family. That's true. So today, with this, we are finishing about the responsibilities between friends and colleagues. Any questions before we jump into this common topic about friends?
Yes, one thing, Bhante, then this joysticks offering and this, yeah. So, yeah, offering these things for the Buddha and every place like home and everything. But I think according to my experience, I think we are getting a lot of benefits other than this our offer, especially for this corona period. We lot of got this protection from the environment, this some viruses. So those things, because some material we are using for this flame is attacking those.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think a lot of spiritual, whoever is sometimes maybe behind in us. Sometimes I think then once we put those smell, that is not good for them. So sometimes to away those bad spiritual things from the below. Thank
So
you.
you are talking about the therapeutic side of the offerings, therapeutic side. Yeah, there's a really big meaning to that. Yes, because like regardless of what the Buddha taught us about the Dhamma, the moment that you think that may Buddha be my light, may I understand the impermanence through offering the flowers, may I feel the smell of the virtue, sila. May I understand? May I feel the purity of the purity through the offering of the drinkables, right? So they are really helpful things. Yes. So there's a therapeutic side. Now the problem is this. The problem is we cannot utilize anybody else to the extent of the Buddha to feel such. You can't do it just by thinking about one of your family close relatives. May I have this wisdom? May I have this purity? May I have this and that? It only comes from someone who you thoroughly believe, who you supremely believe in. That's why we need Buddha in that context too, right? So there is a definite therapeutic thing. But we have to understand, keeping those offerings to a level where you are displaying your wisdom too. There is therapeutic power, and I think offering side is the main entry gate for all the devotees. If you go for a temple, how many people can go and listen to a Dhamma talk? But many people come to the temple to offer something and go back. The problem here is that probably they don't want, probably they are not intellectually high enough to understand such a thing. Maybe they don't need it. So I think offering side is very essential, not just to see it from a commercial side, but because most of the devotees, like Buddhist devotees who go to temples, normal devotees, normal in the sense of not money, normal means intellectual side, they are depending on the offering side, which is not bad, which is okay. But they should also understand there is a way that the Buddha taught us how to understand the life. Now, we know that every religion talks about dukkha, right? XYZ religions, they all talk about the suffering. But Buddhism is the only philosophy teaching which talks about both the suffering and how to end the suffering. That's pretty interesting. That is why we have to look at that side also, while not destroying our puja part. Puja part is also very important. Puja, chanting part, they are very important, because people cannot easily understand something like Four Noble Truths just by reading a book. It's a life experience, right? It is a life experience. So it is equally important for therapeutic side and other things too. Yeah.
Bhante,
Service, yeah.
how about, I strongly believe, if we have good faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and the offerings, what we give, the Buddha can't do anything much to us. Only the guidance of the teaching and the practice that we put. But end of the day, I believe the good devas who are wherever we go to, let's say a temple or what, they're the one who will be listening to us and giving us the support.
Yeah.
That we need.
That's what I was trying to aim at too, because in other religions, I'm not going to say XYZ, they have this belief of resurrection. Like, let's say there was this fundamental person, is gone, and there's somebody who is representing and being resurrected, coming back. In Buddhism, we don't have resurrection. Can the Buddha come back again? Gautam Buddha? No, he's gone. That is one example, one of the biggest examples of the anicca, right? But as Sadhu said, as I am at too, when we are offering, when we are doing such things to the Buddha, when we are not requesting, let's say, when we are respecting the Buddha for his Dhamma and all that, there are a lot of kind devas who like us, thinking that we have chosen the right path. So we have the protection from them, right? Otherwise, how many houses does the Buddha have to go and then do this? It's going to be really complicated, right? So devas, there are 1,000, 100,000 devas. They have the support for us. But just expecting devas come and help me in my life is really funny, yeah? That is not the way. But there is the help. So we are continuing with our spiritual path at the same time.
Because I'm speaking from through my own experience. If I tell you, maybe you might not, you find it difficult to believe. for me, I don't get much human help, but I get all the Deva's help. Till today, what I want, I can get most of the time.
Mhm.
And they protect me also in times of trouble, in this and that. Because when I was young, I was shone by a light.
Mhm.
So there's a long story behind that. But then later I get to know that there is someone who's taking care of me, guiding me and all that, because I got no one to take care. My parents and my education, my everything is not there, but I get this guiding all the way. So if I'm on a job, that's why even
yeah.
I don't have much education, I get good jobs and all that with no certificate, no diploma or anything. I'm being an engineer all the while. It's very hard to for some people to believe, but I do get all the way. Till now,
Mhm.
if I really want it, I ask for it, I get it now. But
Adding,
okay, sure, just a minute. But I believe too, I have to keep the moral very highly and not abuse it in the wrong way. If I have the help, I got to use the help to help others too.
Mhm.
They will keep it alive and go in the long run. Once I break all this and do the wrong things, this will go away from me.
Interesting. Adding on to that, there are some beliefs among the Buddhist devotees, even in Hinduism, that 3 types of devas are chasing after. I don't have proof to say that, okay, in a text, but just a rough idea to understand can relate to sadhus too. There are 3 types: Kula Deva, Acharya Deva, probably our family deities. Now, how many teachers have we had in our samsara? How many teachers? Those who taught us different things, probably at school level, probably other friends, and maybe our family deities. That means how many moms I had in my samsara, how many fathers I had in my samsara. Do you think that did they easily let us go? Do you think so? I don't think so. Do you think our mothers in our many billions, trillions of life let us simply go? No, we also didn't do that. Whenever they left us due to a sudden death, probably a natural death, they still keep us in our mind in different ways, right? So these people can be with us. There are rather places where we feel miracles. I was almost going to meet with an accident, but something happened. I didn't do anything. Yes, they are with us. I'm not trying to say that devas are controlling us, but we have the help from these invisible people. But as Sadhu said, yes, as long as we are doing good. The moment we are going to deviate, nobody can help us. It's like the Dhammapada stanza. When you are doing harm, then to yourself, then the effect of that harm is worse than one thief is what one thief is going to do to another thief. Oh, when a thief is going to do bad thing to another thief, it's going to be really bad, right? If you are doing a good thing to you, the happiness, the good things you are creating to you do not even come from your families, right mind. So if we don't deviate from our practice, our good life, what you call our virtuous life, then definitely there's always help from them. But keep in mind, while you have this mentality because you are a good person, you are good people, never ever forget about that there is a path which the Buddha said to us. Because this is a samsara, so we really need to understand that truth. That truth is a noble eightfold path, noble, honorable truth. So we are going to do these 2 at the same time, not going to be stuck in the puja part.
And Bhante, I'd like to ask, when we receive the divine blessings as a Buddhist, where does it come from? Is it the triple gem or
When we receive the
You know, when we talk
blessings of
about
the triple
divine
gem.
divine blessings,
Divine blessings.
So,
You mean the Devas blessings, okay?
so it is the blessing of the devas, right?
Devas.
Or the triple gem.
Triple gem have no. Okay. Very good
So
example.
we want
I
to
have
be clear, you know, we want to
Okay.
be so clear that where is, you know,
Great.
you
Great.
know, we
Now
say, oh, we
here,
receive blessings. Okay, blessings of
let
the
me
triple
let me
gem or
talk
blessing
about.
of the divine.
Yeah. Let me separate out there.
Okay,
How
thank
can I
you.
separate out? Now can I say that Buddha is a deity, Dhamma is a deity, Sangha is a deity? So there are three types of deities. Devas are the devas. Is this how I'm? No. This is a lame way of expressing that. How could we get blessed with the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha? Go to the Ratana Sutta.
Ratana, 180.
Let's start from
180
Ratana Sutta.
blessings.
Yang kincha
Ratana
vittang
Sutta.
idava hurangva sagge suwayang ratanam panetang nano samang attatagatena idampi buddhi ratanam panetang. Okay, I am getting blessed by the Buddha because Buddha is a powerful person. Does it mean that the Buddha will come to me to help me at any point? It is not that way. Then we have to touch another sutta to understand. Remember the Dajagga Sutta?
What sutta,
Dajagga
Bhante?
Sutta. Dajagga. Let me type that for
Dajagga.
you and I will explain to you.
Dajagga
This one.
Sutta.
Dajagga Sutta. Okay. Now in Dajagga Sutta, this is a conversation between the Buddha and other devas. What has happened in the story is that there is always a fight that has been happening between devas and the asuras. Devas and the asuras. Okay. Asuras are more powerful. Why is it? Because they are more powerful than the devas. But they are bad people. Right? Asuras are very jealous, very angry people, but they are more powerful. Sometimes angry and jealous people are more powerful, right? Their words. Even among the humans, when somebody is very angry, their words are more powerful. They talk very loud and scream. Right? Anyways, so devas were really scared of these people. So then they came to the Buddha and they said, Bhante, we have a big problem. These asuras chase us. So we are almost getting defeated by them. Then the Buddha asked, what did your head god tell you? How to deal with this? Say, okay, Sakka Indra, he told us, when you have a fear, you need to think about a god. Who was that? I remember, let's say this order might be a little different. Varuna. When you have a fear in the battle, when you fight with the asuras, think about the Varuna, very famous deity. In case, while you're thinking about Varuna, still you are getting scared, still you have horripilation, still you have other problem, think about Pajapati, another deity. Then the Sakka. In case, while you're thinking about Pajapati, still the fear continuing, then think about Isana, another deity. Okay, now in case these three deities don't help you, then think about me, Sakka. So you will be okay. Then the Deva said, this is not going to work. We thought about even Sakka, still the fears come to us. We are in problem now. The Buddha said, you know why? Because Sakka has not got rid of his own raga, dosa, moha. When you have raga, if you are to think about the other person who has raga, how can he's going to help you? It's not logical, right? Let's say you come up with lots of fears about something. You think about someone who has the same raga in different ways. The Buddha said, yes, doesn't work. Okay, I'm going to teach you a way. When you are feared, think about the Buddha. Itipiso bhagava arahan samma sambuddho vijjācara sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro, so and so forth, buddho bhagava. Then what are you thinking? Each virtue. Arahant, samma sambuddha, vijjācara sampanna, sugata, lokavidu, anuttaro buddhammasarthi, sattādeva manusam, buddho bhagava. 9. Then this is the interesting thing. In case, after thinking about me, still you have the fear, then I'm not going to be important to you at that point. You have to think about the Dhamma. Swakkato Bhagavata Dhamma Sanditthiko Akaliko Hipasiko, 6 virtues. Now, still after thinking about Dhamma, still the fear is continuing, then think about the Sangha. Supatipanno, Ujupatipanno, Nyayapatipanno, Samiji Patipanno. So 9 virtues. By the end of that one, definitely your fears should go away. That means Sangha is more powerful. Why is it? Buddha is also Sangha. Is a part of Sangha. Now, when you want to do Buddha Puja, you separate Sangha from the Buddha. Buddha is there and Sangha is there, but Sangha is a part of the Buddha. That is why when Pajapati Gautami came to offer a robe, what did the Buddha say? Pajapati, don't offer it to me, go to Sangha. When you offer to Sangha, I am also part of it. Sangha is more powerful. That means you are blessed with the triple gem by understanding those virtues separately. There's no person. When you understand what is Arahant, what is Samma Sambuddha, what is Vijja, then to the level of that trust, to the level of that clarity, you are blessed. That is how it works. Devas are Deva, they are living beings. They are living somewhere. So they have different blessings. But if the Devas come to the Buddha, because Sakka cannot help them, what are you thinking about the Devas at that point? Devas came to the Buddha because they are feared now because of the Asuras. So let's say Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Think about the Buddha, 9 qualities, virtues. Then Dhamma, 6 qualities. Sangha, 24 qualities. Buddha Dhamma Sangha. And then you share your good karmas with the Deva at the end of any ceremony. So you have both blessings. Make sense? That's a long analysis, but I think I made it short. Okay. Before we finish for today, I want to say friends are very important because we can easily practice our Dhamma path, Noble Eightfold path, when we have similar friends, like-minded friends, like you, right? We respect each other, we learn from each other, right? So that is very interesting. And the Buddha said we should need a friend more than a good friend. Like these are just normal friends, right? The friend that we discussed today, more than a good friend. Who is that? Kalyana Mitta. Not a Suhada Mitta. Suhada Mitta is just good friend. Kalyana Mitta is, it is the best version of Suhada Mitta. That means that friend is, now, for instance, there are Suhada Mittas who keep your secrets. Sometimes they might help you in crimes too, in different ways. Suhada Mittas. But Kalyana Mittas won't help you for bad things. They are really, really helpful for you to practice your Dhamma path. So we need Kalyana Mittas. So that's about friends. So next week, we're going to be going to the next responsibility set. That is going to be employers and employees. You can see here, Dasa Kamkara. See, starting from what responsibilities should be done by the employer to employee, and then what responsibilities should be done by employee to employer. Okay, so sometimes here. Any more questions? Not, we're going to transfer the good karmas. I think that one of the very interesting things you learned today is how you get blessed by the triple gem and the devas. So it's very interesting. So I think those people might explain that no, Buddha is coming after you, Dhamma is coming after you, Sangha is coming after you. There may be a way how you get blessed, but you will be blessed to the level of the clarity that you know about those virtues. The more you know about those virtues well, what they really mean, the more you're blessed. If you just know Arahang is Arahang, Samma Sambuddha, no, there are different meanings for all these virtues. We can do maybe probably one day after these discussions. Okay, so let's transfer all the good karmas now. First, we're going to transfer all the good karmas to departed relatives that passed away in the name of all of us. We know there were almost 12,000 people passed away in Turkey, right? Many people, sudden deaths. So may all the good karmas be shared by all the people who passed away recently and then in your life, your parents, your siblings, anybody in your this life and past lives. If the departed relatives were already reborn in a better place, good realm, may they be able to improve their life. And if they were reborn in a painful realm, like Naraka Ti-Ratana Petasura, may they be able to exit from all these painful states and then be reborn in a better place where they can practice more Dhamma. May they be well and happy, finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukita huntu ñātayo. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukita huntu ñātayo. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukita huntu ñātayo. Now we're going to share all the good karmas with the devas, nagas, and all the powerful invisible beings. May all the good karmas be shared by all the devas, nagas, and mahitikas. May they be well and happy. May they protect all our friends, Dhamma friends who are joining here every week and who could not join today for different other reasons. Your families, your family members, your even grandkids, everybody, even particularly Reverend monks. May everybody be protected, blessed by devas, nagas, mahitikas for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety, and all the good things. May devas, nagas, mahitikas finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We have two sets of stanzas. First, Akasattha cha bhummatta devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu lokasasanam. Akasattha cha bhummatta devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanam. Akasattha cha bhummatta devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu mang paranti chirang rakkhantu tvang sadati. The next set of stanzas. Ittavata cha ammehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. May I be in the company of Kalyanamitas, wise friends, till I attain Nibbana and not with the Papamitas. So, emphasizing the importance of being together with Kalyanamitas, we're going to recite this. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hontu yava nibbana pattiya. Finally, may all the good karmas which we have been accumulating today by discussing about another set of responsibilities and discussing more Dhamma things be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana siddhis niccang vadha pachayinam chattaro dhamma vadhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me vacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati saminchatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That's the end of our session today. So have a good night, and we'll be catching up next Friday.
Good night, Bhante.
Thank you,
very much
Bhante.
for the
Night, take
wonderful
care.
talk, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante. Good night, Bhante.